The most dangerous virus ever made didn't steal a cent or delete a file. It physically destroyed machines inside a nuclear facility, and we'll end there. First we climb, from bad to nightmare, starting where almost every virus does, with you, Melissa. Quick note for the tech folks, most names here are really worms or ransomware, but virus is the word everyone uses, so we'll roll with it. First up is an actual one. Back in 1999, a guy named David L. Smith hid it inside a Word document and put it online. Open the file, and it grabbed the first 50 people in your contacts and emailed itself to all of them, as you. Your coworkers see your name, they trust it, they open it, and now it's spreading from them too. It didn't hack anything, it just wore your face and let plain human trust do the work. Within days, the flood of junk mail clogged email so badly that companies like Intel and even Microsoft had to shut their systems down to dig out. Around 1 million accounts got tangled up, and the cleanup ran about $80 million. But Melissa was clumsy. It needed you to already have someone's address. So what if a virus could make you actually want to open it? I love you. 1 year later, the answer arrived. In May 2000, an email landed with 3 little words in the subject line, I love you. Attached was what looked like a simple love letter. Who closes that unread? Millions clicked, but the file was secretly a tiny program, and Windows hid the part that would have given it away. The instant you opened it, it wrecked your files and mailed itself to your whole address book, spreading on its own, which technically makes this one a worm, not a virus. It hit tens of millions of machines, maybe 1 in 10 computers online at the time, and did an estimated $10 billion in damage. Now here's the idea that runs through this whole video. It didn't break into anything, you opened the door for it. And every virus gets in through just 2 doors, a flaw in the software or a flaw in you. Hold on to those 2 doors. Next up, one that stopped asking for your trust and just grabbed your machine. MyDoom. In 2004, a worm showed up that still holds a world record today. It came as a boring, delivery failed email, the kind you'd ignore. Open it, and it did 2 things. First, it spread itself faster than anything before or since. At its peak, it wrote inside 1 of every 5 emails on Earth. Second, it quietly propped open a back door on your PC. Everything looked fine, but now a stranger could stroll in whenever they liked. Then all those hijacked machines were aimed at the same websites at once, burying them until they crashed offline. That's the jump. Your computer wasn't the target anymore. It was a soldier in someone else's army, and nobody told you. The damage ran as high as $38 billion. So if one worm can draft your PC into an army of strangers, how big can that army get? Conficker. Terrifyingly big. Starting in 2008, this worm spread to somewhere between 9 and 15 million computers, and it was clever. Once inside, it patched the very hole it crawled through, locking the door so nothing else could follow it in. It kept changing how it phoned home for orders so nobody could trace it and pull the plug. Millions of machines just sat there, infected, waiting for a command. It got so serious that Microsoft and a coalition of security firms formed a special task force just to hunt it down. And then, the giant army never really attacked. To this day, nobody's fully sure what it was for. A loaded gun, left sitting on the table for years. So far, every one of these has chased attention or control. When did they start being about cold, hard cash? CryptoLocker. Right around 2013, with this one. Picture switching on your PC and finding every photo and document scrambled into useless gibberish. Then a countdown appears. Pay us in Bitcoin within 72 hours, or the key is gone for good. This was ransomware. It locked your files with encryption you simply couldn't crack. Pay or lose everything. And enough frightened people paid that the crooks pulled in millions. Here's the shift. This wasn't some bored teenager anymore. It was a business, with set prices, hard deadlines, even customer support, to help victims buy their first Bitcoin. Attacking computers had become an industry, the same playbook that still freezes hospitals and shuts down fuel pipelines today. Which raises an ugly question. What happens when that industry gets its hands on a weapon built by a government? WannaCry, May 2017. In about a day, we found out. This was ransomware again. Lock the files, demand the Bitcoin. But instead of waiting for a click, it broke in through the other door, a flaw in Windows itself. And the tool it used was a real cyber weapon built by the NSA, America's spy agency. stolen, and dumped online just weeks before. So it spread on its own, machine to machine, no clicking needed. In hours, it hit over 200,000 computers across 150 countries. Britain's hospitals got slammed the hardest. Appointments canceled, ambulances turned away, doctors locked out of patient records. It was stopped almost by luck when a young researcher found a hidden off switch in the code and flipped it. 2 doors, remember? CryptoLocker used your trust. This one kicked through the software door with a government's own weapon, and the next virus took that idea somewhere darker. NotPetya. Weeks later, its evil twin appeared. It looked like ransomware, locked screen, demand for cash. So companies paid, and nothing came back. No key, no files, no help. Because the ransom was a flat-out lie. This was a wiper, built to destroy your data for good, dressed up as ransomware to hide what it was really doing. It ripped through global companies, and the shipping giant Maersk watched its entire network die in minutes, rebuilt only thanks to one lucky backup that survived. All told, around $10 billion, the most expensive cyber attack in history. Feel the shift, from viruses that wanted your attention, to your money, to one that just wanted to destroy. And yet, every one so far has lived inside the screen. So what if a virus could reach out and break something you can actually touch? CIH. Now we cross a line, back to 1998, to a real virus that did something almost nothing else can. Most malware just messes with your files. Wipe the drive, reinstall, move on. This one, written by a student in Taiwan, went after the BIOS, the little chip on your motherboard your computer needs just to switch on. By then, that chip was a rewritable kind, so makers could update it, which meant a virus could erase it too. And a motherboard with that wiped clean doesn't boot to an error screen. It doesn't boot at all, dead, a paperweight with a keyboard. The only fix was to physically replace the chip, or the whole board. It bricked hundreds of thousands of PCs. This is where a virus stopped being a software problem and became a hardware one, the kind no reinstall can save you from. But it still had to be inside the machine it killed. The most dangerous one ever? It didn't even need that. Stuxnet. And here it is, the one we opened with. Around 2010, investigators found malware so complex, it clearly wasn't some lone hacker's work. It ignored nearly every computer it landed on, hunting one target, the machines running Iran's nuclear program, inside a guarded site called Natanz. And here's the legendary part. That place wasn't even connected to the internet. It was sealed off on purpose, so no online attack could reach it. So Stuxnet didn't fly in over the web. It rode in on a USB stick, almost certainly carried through the gate by an unsuspecting engineer. Once inside, it seized the centrifuges, the fast-spinning tubes that enrich uranium, and spun them until they tore apart, while feeding the engineers fake readings that said everything was normal. It's widely believed to be the work of the US and Israel, though neither has ever admitted it. A virus reached off the screen and sabotaged a nuclear facility on the other side of the planet. That's the day malware became a real weapon of war, and why it sits at the very top of this list. The cheat sheet. Okay, screenshot time. Here's the whole climb in one breath. Melissa and ILOVEYOU used your own trust. MyDoom and Conficker turned millions of PCs into secret armies. CryptoLocker, WannaCry, then NotPetya made attacks a business, then a weapon. CIH killed the hardware, and Stuxnet stepped off the screen into the real world. Notice something? Not one of these was a harmless joke virus. Every name here cost real money, real data, or real machines. Now the part that protects you. Remember the 2 doors? You get 2 locks. 1. Keep your software updated. Those boring update pop-ups are literally patching the exact holes WannaCry and Conficker used, so stop hitting later. 2. Think for 1 second before you click. That's the door Melissa and ILOVEYOU walked straight through, and it hasn't changed in 25 years. Do just those 2 things and you've shut the doors almost every virus in history needed. So if your PC's been nagging you to update, maybe go say yes. If you learned something here, a like really helps the channel. And tell me in the comments, which of these do you actually remember happening? See you in the next one.